Welcome into the NESN Soccer Show. Courtney Cox here with Mark and Marcus.
Hey, Courtney.
Hi, Courtney.
That graphic was not approved by me before we did it.
Well, we can't change the whole show.
Confusion right there. But welcome on in. A special show today. The World Cup draw happened just merely a few hours ago.
Not even. Yeah.
I mean, it's 12:31.
It's
Started at 10, right?
Yeah, but it was like
we had about 45 minutes of showbiz.
Well, but that's it still started 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
These two I really can't handle today, if we're being completely honest. You guys, I was expecting to come in here and do this show. All of a sudden I get notified that you guys are live giving reactions.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was.
We like to work hard.
Yeah, it just felt like the right
I
thing
think
to do.
that's kind of a dig, but whatever. Let's kick this thing off before we get into a little family feud. You guys watched the live reactions. I know that this is going to be a tough thing to say because the last time I talked to you about the U.S. not being in the World Cup, it didn't go well. You guys were both very sad about the U.S. not being able to qualify.
Yes.
How was it to watch this knowing you weren't going to hear the U.S. at all?
I'm over it. Yeah, I think I've moved on. It took me a few days of real gnashing of teeth and angst and soul searching, but
Crying,
now it's
tears.
it's been about almost 2 months now that we've known the United States isn't going to be in it. So
About 2
it's
months.
not it's not
Time
about
flies.
us. You know,
Yeah.
it's not our party.
It's not. It's the world's party.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm over it too, but I
not
can't say
Italy's
it with.
party either.
No, it's not Italy's party either.
I was just going to say, Mark Di Benedetto, you would
Yeah.
wonder who his second team of choice would be. Not Mark's year.
No, it's going to be a rough one, but I can't say it with as much confidence as you that I'm completely over it.
Yeah.
I still don't know who I'm going to root for, but this was this was another step towards. There's going to be a lot of great soccer going on, and I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah,
so.
whether or not I actually meant it, I just wanted to see how it sounded. When I said it.
I thought you sounded convincing
Yeah.
and strong.
Yeah, but the World Cup doesn't belong to anybody.
No.
If this World Cup belongs,
But we
to,
are in the U.S., so
to
we have to
anyone.
acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's Putin's World Cup, and he was the
Right.
first one to speak, and he didn't say much of note.
Well, so I was going to ask you guys, what do you think about, everything surrounding it? It's more of like a show than it is really just
Yeah,
a
because
draw.
they could just release the groups in a press release if they wanted.
Yeah.
But
It was very Russian.
Yeah.
Especially the dancing. The dances with the.
it was cool though. I guess it's a little bit. It's a different culture, and I think it would be cool to kind of watch more of it, from afar next summer.
But they had a little rock and roll, a little hip hop, and something that looked very traditional. I don't know what it was called or what
Me neither.
how to describe it, but it was traditionally and uniquely Russian. But there was also rock and some hip hop, and the musical acts were pretty good, I thought.
All right, well, let's talk about let's move on from the U.S. and Italy, and talk about the teams that are actually going to be playing. Groups A through H, we'll break down all of them, but let's start by talking about the group of death. When you look at all of these groups, the group of death, who is in your mind, who's your group of death?
Marcus, me?
Well, there's more groups of life than group of death.
Yeah,
I
that's a
spent
good
the
way to put
last hour and a half, 2 hours, trying to figure out what is the group of death. And I know I said in our live reaction show that you weren't here for and you weren't on, but the show had to go on. I said it was Group D with Nigeria, Iceland, Argentina, and Croatia. I changed my mind since then.
Huh.
I'm going to go with Group E.
All right.
Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Serbia.
Costa Rica made the quarterfinal last time around.
They did make the quarterfinal, and they're still a tough team, Costa Rica. Serbia has some good players, some tough players, and then Switzerland is a team that they've been in the last 3 or 4 major tournaments, and they haven't embarrassed themselves once. So, but it's really tight. I mean, the difference between Group E, and I'm not sure who you're going to choose, but Group D, who we picked earlier, it's very small.
I'm sticking with Group D, and I think the reason it's hard to pick a group of death this World Cup cycle is because maybe there's just there are several countries that aren't in the tournament that, if they were in, the thing about the group of death is it's sort of a traditional powers all in the same group.
Right.
And it's like you see the names and right away you're like, oh wow, those are 3 great soccer, footballing countries. So it's a little harder to pick out, but I focus on Group D because you got Argentina, but then you have Nigeria, who went undefeated through qualifying. Iceland made a lot of noise at Euro 2016, and they're just difficult to get a result against. They'll park the bus, sit back, and
Park the bus.
and you know,
Soccer term.
play for 0-0 draws. And Croatia is also a very good side. So it's just 4, I think, pretty solid teams. I would expect Argentina to advance out of the group, but don't be surprised if they don't necessarily win each match and if they have a little bit of trouble and maybe even slip up against one of these 3 teams.
Mark, you have, for the first time in the history of NESN Soccer Show, changed my mind.
Oh, all right.
I'm going back to Group D.
It's never happened? I've never changed your mind before?
Never once.
All right.
This is Mark's day. Mark is also feeling a little under the weather, so things are really turning around.
Yeah.
We also found out there's a super
We
fan.
don't need to talk about
There's a
that.
Mark. Were you here for
Yeah, I
that?
was here for that, yeah.
Someone loves Mark and thinks that you get lost in his eyes that we found out. So
No, they
he's
take
turning
you
red.
to the future. I
Yeah.
think that's what
It
was
take
said,
you to the future. That's what it was.
That's going to, yeah, we can.
You were turning so red.
Let's get into all the groups.
No, we're not there yet. We're going to go to talk about the easiest group. We talked about
Right.
Group of Death. We're going to talk about the easiest group. Mark needs to stop nervous laughing.
Okay. Marcus, you
Group
can
of
go ahead.
life. Yeah, Group A, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Uruguay. My goodness. The World Cup opener on June 14th will be a matchup between the 2 lowest ranked teams in World Cup history. So I guess by some standard, it'll be the worst game in World Cup history to kick the whole thing off. Russia against Saudi Arabia, that's like number 65 against another team in the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get the World Cup we want. We get what we have. And we have.
Yeah, I think
Russia.
that Group A is the easiest in the sense of a really good, have no trouble advancing through the group.
Yeah.
But I also look at Group H, not that I don't think any one of the clubs will, well, I guess Colombia is going to have the easiest time, but it's kind of wide open, and there's not really a superpower there
Right.
to really take over.
It's the first time, it's the only group that doesn't have a former World Cup winner in it.
Yeah.
Group H, Poland, Senegal, Colombia, and Japan. We just skipped over all the groups.
But
did.
we're going to go through that. But I have a
Okay.
question talking about Group A. Is there such thing as, being the host nation for Russia? Is there an advantage with that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So then
you'll probably travel the shortest distances
how can that be the easiest, when you're the host nation?
because it's Russia who are
They're bad.
one of the.
But still, if there's an advantage, then there's a way.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say the draw was fixed in Russia's favor. I'm not going to sit here and say the draw wasn't fixed in Russia's
Well,
favor.
you could go back to saying that the fact that the World Cup is even in Russia in the first place was fixed, but that's going really far back.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. There is an advantage, and the host nations typically do pretty well, but it's also maybe Brazil as host nation, they're already an incredible team, and then they're also hosting, or Germany as host nation, already incredible, and they're hosting.
Yeah.
So I think really good countries, really good soccer countries have been hosts traditionally, and so it's just a really good team playing all home matches. That's an obvious advantage.
Yeah. But this is a new day and age. South Africa hosted in 2010, and I believe they were the first host not to advance out of the group stage. So I could see that happening in Russia again.
Yeah.
I like Uruguay's chances of winning the group fairly easily.
I'm rooting for Egypt.
Egypt
is
a bit of a sleeper in that group. And I think their game against Russia, which will be the second in the group on June the 19th, I think that one's going to be the decisive contest in the group.
All right. Well, we broke down Group A pretty deeply.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Group B, which is trending on Twitter. This is a very exciting group for everybody. When you've got Portugal and Spain in the group, you know everybody's going to be talking about it. When you've got Cristiano Ronaldo in a group, you know everyone's
Talk about
gonna
getting
be
lost in eyes, let me tell you.
As soon as I saw that group get announced, that's where my eyes immediately went to.
Yeah, I mean, Group B, you mentioned how the opening match will be maybe the worst match in World Cup history. The next match to be played will be Portugal versus Spain on the first match day after the opening match. And it could be argued that that'll be the best match of the group stage matches. And I think that's why it's trending, that's why everybody's focused on it, and the winner of that match, you know, is probably going to win the group.
On paper, this is the one. This is when they drew the ball and opened up Spain, and you know, we knew they were going to be in Group B. You could hear the gasp on TV. Everybody was just, oh my goodness. These two teams, they're geographic rivals. They're, you know, they go back to the beginning of their respective federations, and I don't want to say they don't like each other, but
they don't love each other.
They don't love each other.
And even you think about the leagues, the Spanish league. You mentioned how I think in our Facebook Live earlier that Cristiano Ronaldo plays in Spain, but that's something that's always been going on. Portuguese players playing in the Spanish league and vice versa.
Never quite getting the respect and the recognition that they deserve inside Spain.
Yeah.
And that's why whenever Real Madrid wins a big trophy and they have their party at the Bernabeu, Ronaldo comes out in a Portuguese either flag as a cape, or he's got, you know, it's a way of kind of sticking it in their faces, and yeah, now they're going to play for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Group C. We've got France, Australia, Peru, and Denmark. France, this should be an easy one for them.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. They have to be really happy about this. I think Peru is going to be their toughest matchup, just because the Peruvians are a little more unknown in terms of playing style and their players to the French.
Fans as well.
You know, when Denmark takes the field against France, they're going to see players that they know and look up to. There'll be a little bit of intimidation. And Australia being Australia, they're not coming in as favorites. They're going to be underdogs in this group anyway.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just, you know, I like the sort of inter-European matchups, so France and Denmark I think will be an interesting match, but Peru maybe could advance, but yeah, France. It's all France.
All right, Group D, you guys already broke down. Is there anything else you want to say about Group D?
Yes.
Oh.
Nigeria and Argentina will meet for, I believe, the 6th time in the last 8 World Cups. These teams play each other all the time, and Argentina always wins. And I don't see that stopping this go-round.
Yeah, tough luck for Nigeria continually getting Argentina. I think a lot of people will be very interested to see how Iceland does in this tournament, just because of all the noise they made in Euro 2016 and the Viking clap and all their fun stuff that they do. So I'm kind of, they're one of the teams I'm hopping on the bandwagon for as a USA and Italian fan, and I just have to find somebody to cheer for. Iceland is top of my list, but I'll be picking all underdogs.
But watch out for Croatia.
Yeah, they're good.
Good players on their team, serial underachievers. Maybe by the law of averages, they'll get this right.
All right, well, Group E was originally your group of death. Then Mark made you change your mind. Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, Serbia. Anything else you want to say about them? Or you covered it?
I'll say that Costa Rica, sort of representing the CONCACAF, I'll be sort of rooting them on as well, and they made to the quarterfinal in the 2014 World Cup. But they're in a pretty tough group. I mean, Switzerland is a very tough side, and Brazil is obviously Brazil. Serbia is Serbia, but
the last day of this group, June 27th, Serbia, Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica. That looks. Those will be 2 good matchups. 2 evenly placed. Not so much Serbia, Brazil, but yeah, looking forward to that day.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Another must-watch.
Another must-watch. All right, Group F also has a must-watch. Germany, the 2014 World Cup champions. They're in this group along with Mexico, Sweden, and South Korea. And this one is, we know Germany is the tourney fave.
Yep.
Could there be an upset here? Could Germany, find themselves struggling? No, Mark is vividly shaking his head no.
I think Germany will win all 3 of their group stage matches.
All right.
I think Mexico will put up the biggest fight, but I also think Mexico will perform well, and I expect them to also beat Sweden and South Korea and sort of have it be like a straight, chalk group.
This group would have been fantastic 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 8 years ago, 12 years ago. This is one of the worst South Korea teams that's come along in the past decade or so. They're still in the World Cup, fairly straightforward qualifying journey for them. Sweden just snuck through, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic
Really did sneak through.
isn't there. I kind of wish that maybe this was at another time. It's a very good Mexico team. Germany's not as good as they were 4 years ago, but they're still very strong. I would have said Mexico might take something from Germany, but as we saw in the Confederations Cup, there's still this gulf between the teams. Mexico couldn't hang with Germany's B-ish, B-C team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm expecting Germany to just walk through. And that Germany-Mexico game is the first one in the group. So
Yeah, I think after that one we'll have a good idea of where Germany is, because we can compare it to their Confederations Cup performance. And also, I'll just throw it in there one more time that I'm really hoping Sweden does not perform well, because they're the ones that eliminated Italy. So
You are really gung-ho on this.
How sour are those
Italian,
grapes?
they take grudges to the grave.
Okay.
We gotta take you to the North End after this. We'll have a big Italian meal, bring up your spirits a little bit. Like I said, he's under the weather, so don't worry, Mark. We got your back. All right, let's end this with Group G and Group H. Two groups that we haven't talked about yet. So
Yeah. Group G, Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, England. The Belgium-England game is going to be interesting, and I think that's going to end. That's the last
group
game.
stages. Yeah.
Kind of feel bad for Panama. They have to start against Belgium, and Belgium being one of the favorites, and they have to play England, not one of the favorites, but a sort of traditional power, and they finally get a little respite against Tunisia, but that's on the last game. I think they'll just be playing for pride at this point. And yeah, England versus Belgium, June 28th.
I just sort of thought about it, and I was thinking about, I had the same mindset as you, but are you scared at all that England could really just trip over themselves and have a colossal failure, as they've sort of been seeming to do in recent years, and not perform well in a major tournament?
I am confident England will trip over themselves and have a colossal failure. Not scared.
Well, do you think they might not advance? Because I'm thinking, maybe Panama sneaks in. That's what I'm thinking.
No.
It would be really funny if that happened, I guess. It would just be like a classic thing.
not if you're a fan of England.
It might be tight, but yeah, I don't see Panama or Tunisia picking up enough points. England might go through with 3 points.
Yeah.
3 draws.
Ugh. Gross.
Yeah.
Belgium England will be a must watch as well.
A lot of the best Belgian players are playing in the Premier League, and they built their reputations. Belgium's coach he'd worked in England for about 2 decades, so a lot of familiarity there. Belgium will be the favorite going through, and that's going to sting England because they're England and Belgium's Belgium.
And Group H, wide open.
Totally wide
open.
Colombia advanced to the quarterfinal in 2014.
Yep.
And were really strong. I would expect them to win, but I don't know. Do you expect them to trip up at all?
No, I like Colombia to win this group. They'll open against Japan, who I would say is the weakest team in the group.
Yep.
That Colombia-Poland will be a good game. Robert Lewandowski, he's the Poland striker, has been, I think he was the top scorer in all of World Cup qualifying. I think that June 24th game, Poland-Colombia, will be, that'll probably determine who wins the group. Senegal might make some noise. They've done well in the last year or so, Africa Cup of Nations and qualifying.
And we always forget about the African teams, and that we don't expect them to be able to stick with Colombia,
right?
And stuff like that.
And I think they are the only African team that is from outside. Oh no, Senegal and Nigeria are representing sub-Saharan Africa, but the rest are coming from Egypt, Morocco.
Yeah.
Is it just 4 African teams this go round? I think so. But
yeah.
Senegal they could sneak through. This group is just so open that
It's hard to tell.
You know, as we said, only group without a former World Cup winner in it, and yeah, who knows? Every team will be confident that they can advance and make some kind of noise in the knockout round.
All right, then final words, and I hate to do this, but everyone's doing it, so you have to. Predictions. At the end of this thing, who's hoisting the trophy? You have to give one.
Argentina.
All right, I'm going to go with France. France will win.
All right.
They're too young. Argentina.
Yeah, but no.
Lionel Messi.
I like youth. I like youth.
Lionel Messi will get it right. They tripped all over themselves through qualifying. I think this is their year.
All right,
And I said that
Argentina,
4
France,
years ago.
they're locked in. We're going to make a note of it. We will have this discussion
Write it
again
down.
at the end.
Take a picture.
You guys should maybe put a bet on it. This could be fun.
Ooh, interesting.
Mark's
I like
going to
that
say
idea.
lunch because Mark loves free food.
Yeah, but who doesn't? But it can be a little more interesting than that. Maybe one of us has to do something embarrassing. I don't know.
Tattoo.
No way, I'm not getting a tattoo. No.
I would have loved that. That was awesome.
Let's think about it.
All right, we'll
do the
think
show.
about it.
We got a few months before
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Before it gets going.
So maybe we'll have the bet set for the next show.
Or
Well,
the show after that.
Once we're close
Before
to
the World Cup,
yeah.
we'll-
close to the
yeah.
World
No, I
Cup.
think you should have a bet way before that.
Okay.
That's just me. All right, well that will do it. Any other words?
No worries.
No words.
No words.
You guys enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It was a fun day.
It's great having you on too.
Yeah.
It's,
Thank you.
Yeah, you were great, Courtney.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will forgive you guys for the graphic and for not having me on live reactions.
We got you in that graphic.
Oh, thank God. All right, well, for Mark and Marcus, thanks so much for joining us. I'm Courtney, and we will see you next time on the NESN Soccer Show. We will have you covered all the way through this World Cup
Oh, yeah.
on NESN.com, so keep it locked in right here.